Peoria Manual, and we're about set to get things underway here. We'll give you a look at the rosters. I'm Jamal Bracht along with Roger Lowe. And Roger, when you look at this Peoria Manual team, you know that they are famous for getting fast starts and putting people away in the fourth quarter. So Olney's really got to be steady throughout this first quarter. We look at the locations. Well, home is where the game is. That can't hurt Manual, that's for sure.
They could have walked to the gym today here, Jimmy.
And, of course, Olney, they're used to a lot of travel. They had a 10-hour round trip to the super sectional game in Macomb where they beat Stanford Olympia 60-45. But, hey, they're more than willing to get on that bus and hit the road if they can make it to the championship game. And, of course, as we said in the open, 66 years, there's the tale of the two cities. East Richland hasn't been here for a long time. I wonder how many people have been born since then. I can't count that high. Enrollment right about there, and of course the Mid-State 6 Conference where Manual plays. Those are all 3A schools in there besides Manual.
Right, and this is the tournament was the first time Manual played a 1A or 2A team. They didn't play anybody in this class during the regular season.
Congratulations from Walgreens.
It's always about how you approach the first couple of minutes of a championship weekend, because you know what you have done to get here. Now you want to make sure that you keep that momentum and you don't overextend yourselves. But we're going to see some defense that, well, I call it the ultimate denial defense from Manual. Let's go to our public address announcer, Paul Herzog.
Good evening, basketball fans. On behalf of the Illinois High School Association of the City of Peoria, welcome to Carver Arena for March Madness, America's original March Madness. This semifinal game, 2A for 2008, features the Peoria Manual Rams 24-7 and the Olney East Richland Tigers 30-3. And now to honor America. Please stand, remove your caps, and pause for a moment of silence as we remember the men and women of the armed forces serving us here and around the world, away from their families, protecting our freedom. Thank you as we thank them. And now please address the flag with your hand over your heart. Our soloist, James Morelli, a senior at Hinsdale South High School, leads us in the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Now let's meet the players. The non-starters for Peoria Manual. The 5'10" junior, number 4, Justin Jackson. 5'11" senior, Nathan Jackson. 6 foot senior, 24, Cortez Augusta. 6'1" sophomore, 25, Lawrence Alexander. 5'10" sophomore, 31, Marvin Jordan. 6'5" freshman, 42, Brandon Watson. 6'1" sophomore, 45, Christopher Todd. And a 6'7" senior, 55, Scotty Brown. Now for Olney, East Richland, a 5'8" senior, 10, Cody Adams. 5'9" sophomore, 12, Blake Pompey. 6'1" junior, 23, Griffin Groves. 6 foot sophomore, 24, Mitch Short. 6 foot junior, 30, Jordan Podorf. 6'5" senior, 33, Keith Kermickle. 6'1" sophomore, 40, Brandon Bailey. 6'4" senior, 44, Dylan Herman. 6'3" sophomore, 45, Todd Boyle. 6'4" sophomore, 50, Christian Cabas. And now let's meet the starting lineups for this semifinal contest. For Peoria Manual, a 5'10" guard, a junior, 10, CJ March. For Olney East Richland, a 5'9" senior guard, 4, Tyler Miller. The other guard for the Rams, a 5'11" junior, 14, Harris Gully. The other guard for the Tigers, a 6'3" junior, 14, Charlie McDowell. At center for Manual, a 6'7" senior, 34, Lawyer Crowder. At center for Olney East Richland, a 6'11" senior, 54, Keen Coleman. The forwards for the Rams, a 6'2" junior, 20, Julian Washington. At forward for the Tigers, a 6'1" sophomore, 34, Brandon Berry. The other forward for Peoria Manual, a 6'1" junior, 50, Kendall Brown. The other forward for Olney East Richland, a 6'2" senior, 52, Corey Dunn. Head coach at Manual in his second season, a record of 35-22, Derek Booth. Assistant coaches, Fred Lee, Ron Ingram, David Williams, Stan Hengen, and Sir James Watson. Head coach for Olney in his 18th year of coaching, 10 for the Tigers, a record of 170-119, Chad Lacrone. Rob Flanagan, the head coach, assistant coach Chad Lacrone, Kurt Nealis, and Ryan Denton. As the players and coaches wish each other good luck at half court, the IHSA Board of Directors and member schools expect and promote good sportsmanship by all athletes, coaches, students, parents, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Do what's right. Thank you. No other state in America can claim the rich history and tradition that's been generated by March Madness in Illinois. It's America's original March Madness. Direct your attention to the arena floor and meet the officials for this game. The referee from Rockford, Jim Irvin. From Byron, Gary Gullett. And from Loves Park, Patrick Burke. Presenting the game ball for this game will be Karen Ferris, Operations Supervisor, Illinois American Water, one of the sponsors of the March Madness experience. We thank Illinois American Water for their contribution to the greatest high school single event in the land.
It kind of looks like Halloween in here tonight, Roger. You got a lot of orange and black colors all over the place because obviously both teams sport those bright orange and blacks.
And I think they're going to be looking for more tricks and treats out here, Jim, because Manual's pressure defense is going to be key. What I've understood from everybody who's seen Olney play is they're a great team. They play well together.
The pressure is really on number 4, Tyler Miller from Olney. He's the little general. He's the guy who directs traffic. He's got to be oh so careful with the basketball. Let's see if he's up to the challenge tonight. The 2A semifinal is underway. And there's the young man I was talking about, Tyler Miller, 5'9", the senior, averages about 8 points a game. He will take the three occasionally, but he will drive too and try to dish. But again, the defense by Manuel, and here they come with Kendall Brown. That's easy.
There's where the defense creates the offense again. Manuel playing good, solid man-to-man is going to pick him up full court.
If you ask Derek Booth about his offense, he says, excuse me, we talk defense first. That kicks off the offense.
Derek was a great defensive player when he was in high school.
He certainly was on one of those Manuel teams that finished second in state. I'll tell you a little bit more about the very interesting Peoria Manuel coach. He believes in education on the court and off, not just for his players, but for himself as well. Olney will try to covet possessions here, make sure that they get a good look.
Spacing looks good too, Jim. They got them spaced about 18 feet apart. Makes it real hard for Manuel to double team.
And you got to space against Manuel. You cannot gather too close together on any part of the court because that means trouble in the passing lanes.
And just the comment you just made too, a lot of back cuts may open up because of the pressure defense that Manuel does play.
Corey Dunn looking for Miller. Now Miller shakes free for a second. Can he get it off? Not with Lawyer standing there daring him. And now he does, and it's going to be short. Rebound comes down, however, in the form of Olney, who gets it blocked, but back up and in is the big man.
I watched him yesterday, and I was amazed at how soft the hands he has for such a big man. Any ball that he gets, he's going to hang on to.
Charlie McDowell kept that ball alive, and Toman finished up business. And when you're 6'11", 260, here's a long jumper out front, not there, as C.J. March misfires, and here comes the Tigers. Tigers play with a lot of emotion, not just basketball. Here's inside again, it is Toman.
And they emptied out the weak side there. Manuel had no backside help, and Toman had a great job of holding off Lawyer Crowder.
And if you can get that pass high enough, he uses his body to shield off the defender, and you just drop it in behind him, and he takes care of business. Driving down the lane is Brown. That won't go, and Olney clears the boards, which is very important for them. No second chances for Peoria Manuel if they can help it. And there's a bad pass. That's what they don't want. Here's the numbers. Here comes a two in the form of Julian Washington.
All 4 points created by their defense too, Jim.
And when you look at Julian Washington, you know, I say two. Well, I should say 4.0 because he is the ruler in the classroom as well as on the basketball court. We are tied early. There's a look by Dunn, but Dunn only averages 3 a game. He's the glue of the team. He's the morale officer. He's not the scorer. Inside, tripping, and Barry will get it to fall anyway. It looked like Barry was going to fall over a foot, but maintained.
When he's in junior high, he played inside, Jim, and he's got a lot of inside moves. You saw a little up and under move there that got him his basket.
Well, his coach calls him the best sophomore in the state. That may be debated, but that's what the coach thinks. March from the wing, down.
Well, if Manuel can do that, Jim, it's going to be a long night for Olney because Olney's going to give him a little bit of room there to take those shots. They want to keep penetration away from him.
March came in with 23 from beyond the arc, and we've got a timeout. And we'll come back with this Peoria Manuel East Richland contest after these.
Their basketball team in the 1910-1911 season. Interesting fact about them is that they have 5 state championships, the most in school history, and 4 of those championships were in consecutive years, 1994 through 1997. Another interesting fact is that Peoria Manuel has another trophy case filled with boys baseball teams winning state championships in 1950, 1965, and 1968. Great job for Peoria Manuel's athletics on the boys' side. Back to you, Jim.
Thanks, Ashley. Sad thing about Ashley is, of course, she was a great basketball player, and because of youth, she could still beat us, which is not comforting at this point in my life.
You know what she said to me this afternoon, that she really missed being out there, and I can't even remember when I was out there, so that's just the difference.
Here's that full court pressure. They want to get the ball to Miller.
And March is a good defender on ball. So like you said earlier, this matchup's going to be key.
Miller has to be very patient. As I said earlier, don't do now what you haven't done to get here. Stay focused. McDowell, good shooter, hit 3 threes and there's the nice pass inside, but the big man couldn't finish as Toman sees his teammate Dunn pick up the garbage. Well, that was fortunate for Olney.
Those are the rebounds you think Manuel's going to get, though, Jim, the ones that hit the floor. So Olney did a nice job there.
For a big man, Dunn can cover some floor. Here's Miller losing it on the way up, and they say it was off his hip, and here comes Peoria Manuel holding that 1-point lead.
Let's see what kind of ground they give to Gully and C.J. March here. They're giving them about a step and a half, hoping that they'll shoot over that rather than try to take it to the hole.
There's 6 man for Olney East Richland. Carmichael is coming in right now. Keith Carmichael wearing number 33. You'll see him in a moment as we widen out, and he played and started every game last year, but they had to convince him, you know what, you'd be a great 6 man. Do you know who John Havlicek was? And they had to Google that. If you're young, you got to Google it. Long jumper from the wing is right there by Paris Gully, who is so smooth.
Well, you just called it right there. He just does everything so effortlessly. It looks like he's playing about half speed, but no one can catch him.
And with under 3.5 left here in the first quarter, Olney sees themselves down by 4. There's Carmichael, averages about 5 off the bench. Driving is McDowell, and too much iron, and now it's loose on the floor. Hey, Olney scrapping and getting the ball right back.
This is a good rebounding team, Jim, as you mentioned earlier. The 7 players who play, they've all led in rebounding at least one game.
Brandon Berry will use the body, and he won't get the soft roll. Nice effort, but here comes speed the other way. Cortez Augusta, who is in the ball game, shows you a little bit of that Peoria Manuel burn that we were talking about before. As you see Derek Booth. And Derek Booth, as I mentioned, you got Paris Gully, top 10 in his class. Julian Washington, 4.0, top of his class. And there you see a coach who's got a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, a coach who is going to get his master's in counseling from Bradley this May. I mean, he's not just talking X's and O's.
No, and I tell you what, this is his dream job too. So he's in heaven being back where he belongs at Manual High.
Augusta makes 1 of 2. Carmichael comes out of there with it, and we've got contact, and that one will go against C.J. March.
Now, Jim, like you mentioned earlier, again, that they don't lose anything when Carmichael's in the ball game. He got a lot of minutes last year. He plays about 18 to 20 minutes a game even this year. So when they go to their bench, they don't lose a thing.
As Booth watches his defense, Miller tries to find a crease. He does, because he'll go to the free throw line. Well, and if you're one-on-one down there, Roger, that's not a bad idea.
No, and I tell you what, he is very athletic. I watched him practice yesterday. He's got a quick first step, fairly strong, and he's going to be up there shooting 2. He is the leader in this entire tournament, Jim, with assists. He has 187 assists, more than anyone else of the teams down here.
You saw the last time that the Tigers walked off the court on the wrong end of the scoreboard.
Everyone I talk to, Jim, says that this ball club is hard to beat because they play so well together. They check their egos at the door and play all for one.
Miller only gets 1 of 2. Ball is tipped around, and down with it comes Peoria Manuel. Nathan Jackson, number 22, in the ball game. Paris Gully will slow. Now find a man on the wing. That's Augusta, and that's 2.
Well, that's a benefit there when Cortez can hit that 15-footer. He's the best defender that they've got, and if he can hit that shot, again, Olney's going to have a long night.
Peoria Manuel already wins my Cool Name Team Award. Paris, Cortez, Lawyer. Don't forget names like that. But right now, Olney's at a critical juncture in this game, down by 6. They go inside, they don't get the ball, and they get an offensive foul instead on Brandon Berry. Wow, that's a big turnaround right there.
And that's that overplay we talked about. Manuel's getting into those passing lanes so hard that if Olney just back cuts, they can get an opening there. Once again, Berry played inside when he was younger, and he's got real good inside moves. But he's coming out of the ball game now.
Yeah, that's not good news for the Tigers right now, who really just kind of have to weather this storm. And the storm, of course, is wearing that black and orange with a basketball. The Manuel Rams. There's Mr. Smooth, but the follow is back down by Lawyer Crowder, who averages 6 a game. And, they don't have a big inside presence, Roger, all the time because they're running with the basketball that much. They don't have a lot of half-court offense, but if they have to go to it, you go to Lawyer.
That's right. They don't do a whole lot of post-offense stuff. They run a lot of the perimeter stuff with penetration, but Crowder's very good around the basket. I watched him 2 games in the Princeton sectional, and he has shooting range to about 15 feet.
McDowell will check out. Right back in is Brandon Berry, the sophomore. And what Olney was doing early was getting it high-low, getting it down into Tolman. That has been missing the last few minutes.
We need to have some fans to watch again. Olney should have some back cuts available because Manual is so aggressive in their man defense.
And remember, things have changed now with the 4-class system, Roger. You don't have to go through 3 games in 2 days. And here's a bad pass on the wing. Coming the other way is Julian Washington. Right back to him. Count it.
Timeout, I would think, by Olney, Jim.
Nathan Jackson took the pass and sent it right back to where it came from, and that's the biggest lead of the night, 17-7. As you can see, we're in 2A right now, and that holds the least amount of teams in the 4 classes. But 2A had some pretty exciting games on the way to Carver Center, that's for sure, with 8 OTs and all those 1-pointers.
Awful competitive there, and if you look at that bottom graphic too, the bottom lines there, all 8 teams here in Peoria this weekend were seated number 1 in their sectional complex, so the coaches knew what they were doing, and the teams came through as they were supposed to.
And when you look at those close scores and those OTs, there's a close call here, there's a bad bounce here, there's a shot that doesn't look like it's going in that somehow finds the net. There's all those little things that you tend to forget about when you look at the final score, but hey, you got to have a little luck.
Oh, absolutely. Now, Coach Flanagan right now with the Olney team, I'm sure is telling his kids that they just got to be patient. They just got to keep the floor open. Still plenty of time, but right now Manuel's causing all kinds of headaches with that pressure defense.
And
5 turnovers already for this ball club and 4 by the glue, Tyler Miller. So Tyler's just got to settle down. He's a much better player than he's shown so far.
Yeah, and that was going to be a key tonight because, you know, when I asked Coach Flanagan, I said, hey, have you played anybody comparable as far as athleticism? And he said, well, you know, we played Mount Zion, so I went to the books and, yeah, they played them twice and they lost to them twice. And, of course, during the summer you get some St. Louis teams. They played Edwardsville. But during the consistent stretch of the season, you have to wonder if they've faced the likes of the Rams.
And you can't simulate that in practice, Jim. Even if you put 6 or 7 guys out there, it's just impossible to do it.
Here's Miller. And Miller getting trouble again out front, and it's Nathan Jackson who forced another turnover.
Yeah, he's struggling right now, and they've got to have him. This young man you're looking on the screen right now is everything to this ball club. He's the emotional leader. He's a great point guard, and right now he's just having a little trouble getting untracked.
They just don't give you much space, man. They just deny every inch of the court. That was at half court.
Now Manuel's going to try to get Olney East Richland to come out of that 1-2-2 zone.
Well, if I'm Olney right now, I'm not really minding this.
Although the clock's running away from them. They're down 10 right now, but as you said, Manuel has momentum, and this could slow that momentum down a little bit. Right now, it looks like Coach Flanagan's going to stay back in the zone and let Manuel get the last shot.
Don't forget, second semifinal game tonight. Who would have guessed Pinckneyville would be here? They're always here, or so it seems like, against number 1 North Lawndale. Should be a dandy. You got a couple of all-staters in that game.
Now with this defense, it's going to be hard to penetrate with them out of the ball. You got 3 guys right within the lane there, so you might see a kick out here to Augusta or to Julian Washington, but it's going to be hard for Paris to penetrate here.
Gully will probably go with about 10 seconds. Gully looks like he's just getting ready to grab a TV dinner, watch a little TV. Doesn't seem too excited. And here we do go. Augusta cutting down low. This looks like it's going to be a long jumper from Jackson. It's off the mark. Rebound fought for, headed out of bounds, and with .04 left, it'll still belong to Manuel.
Watch for a lob to Crowder here. Watch for a lob here to Lawyer Crowder with only .4.
Crowder almost got that offensive rebound.
That's what I'm looking for if I'm the coach.
They fire and they don't get it. It wasn't off by much, but Paris Gully will head back to the bench empty-handed after that shot, and we're coming back with the start of the second quarter. Manuel up by 10. We're back after this on the IHSA TV network.
Welcome back to Peoria. 17-7, the Manuel lead, but the Olney East Richland fans are undaunted, guys, and we are here with Gary Flanagan. That's Rob Flanagan's father, the coach. This is the father of the coach right here. This is a special night for you. You've had some health issues, and this is the first time you've seen them in the postseason.
Right. It's a very special night.
Tell me about getting to come here tonight and what it means to you. This is obviously the best year in Olney basketball in recent memory.
Right. It's just a dream come true tonight. Just to see him coach in the state tournament, and I don't know. I'm just so happy for it.
All right, Dad. We're going to put you on the spot here. What was this guy like as a kid? We know he's a great coach. He's got his guys here tonight.
He was a good ball player. He's a good kid. Yeah, he was. Worked hard at it. He still works hard at it.
Yeah. All right, well, good luck to you. We're glad you're here.
Okay, thank you.
All right, that's Gary Flanagan, guys. He's had some health struggles against cancer. The first time he's gotten to see his son's team play in the postseason. His 6 grandkids are here. His daughter's here, too. Just a great night for Gary Flanagan and all the Olney East Richland fans. Back over to you.
Thanks, Lee. To follow that up, he had some surgery the last regular season game. That day he had surgery, and when he woke up, he told his son, quote, "Get your butt to the game," and he made it by about 5 minutes. So a little cat and mouse going on, Roger.
Right now, Manuel's trying to bring him out of that zone, which they're doing right now. But Olney's looks like they're trying to match up out of it.
Olney could only muster 7 points in that first period. Here's a running jumper that didn't get there, but of course, Augusta will feed it underneath. Cortez doesn't get an assist off of that one because Lawyer Crowder couldn't get it to fall. Let's take a look at the first quarter stats.
Well, you know, right there on the screen there, the big thing is the field goals. I mean, Manuel shooting 70%. That's huge. And 6 turnovers by East Richland. And look at that third line. As we said, the defense creates everything for Manuel. 9 points off the turnovers. If you can get Manuel into their half-court offense, they're beatable.
Stats update, as always, brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards. Speaking of big, you get a good look at Lawyer Crowder, 6'7", 205, the senior who knocked down 15 in the super sectional win, knocks down 1 of 2, and it's an 11-point Manual lead, and here comes more pressure. Miller and his mates break it, but they get back so well. Long jumper, Carmichael.
Well, they
needed that one.
They sure do, and he was the quarterback on the football team, and he's a leader, obviously. Big basket there for Olney. Now, this is a huge possession now for them defensively.
Carmichael knocked down 43 pointers during the regular season, so that was not an oddity. Olney fans are used to seeing that. Now they play a little low post to Brandon Berry. Can he free himself? He can.
He's good around that basket, Jim. He knows what he's doing down there with his footwork. And right now, momentum has swung back to the East Richland Tigers.
5 points for Olney in this opening salvo as compared to 1 free throw for Peoria Manual.
I don't think they have to cover Lawyer Crowder out at the 3-point range. I would keep the big fella inside, Tolman.
Yep. Keep that presence down low. He is not in foul trouble. Here comes Gully. Gully has some trouble with it. Nathan Jackson will try to bounce pass over to Crowder and get it done. The ball won't fall, but he'll be going to the free throw line again. That's dribble penetration. That'll break you down every time.
We're going to see a replay on this. Watch the angle here that Nate Jackson gets. Well, we didn't get to see it. He created the angle there and made it an easy opening there for Lawyer Crowder, who's going to now shoot 2. Too many times, Jim, people just dribble the ball just to be bouncing on the ground, and one of the reasons why you want to use a bounce pass there is just to create that angle.
And I mentioned that Tolman wasn't in foul trouble, but after that little exchange, that gives him 2, and Rob Flanagan says, I cannot get 3 on the big man this early. In and out. There's the sophomore Berry.
You wonder if Manuel extends the lead, though, if he'll keep him on the bench for the rest of the half.
There's a bad pass. It was read nicely, and Augusta has it. He's got numbers. Nice pass over to Jackson. You work so hard to get your points at the other end, and Manual they're so smooth and quick.
They're relentless. You got to keep the ball off the ground, too, because their hands are so active.
And another pass gets away from Carmichael. Here they come again. It's Augusta all the way over to the wing, and the ball will head out of bounds. Good defense that time by Olney, but just when they were climbing back in it, they're down by 9 again. We're going to take a break and come back to the Peoria Civic Center for more of March Madness after these local messages, and here come the Rams.
Jim, interesting thing about the home team, Olney East Richland, is they used to be Olney High School, and they recently changed over to East Richland. Back in the day when they were Olney, though, they appeared 3 times in the state championship. In 1920, they actually won 4th place, and in 1930, they won 33 games and placed 3rd. In 1942, they actually qualified for state. This will be the actual first appearance for each Richland high school in the tournament, and it'll be the first trophy that the boys actually bring home. Over here to the right, we have the NARA Move of the Game couple. Their names are Edward and Tracy Cargill. They're cheering for Peoria Manual tonight, and they want the win for the orange and black. So hopefully they'll get that. And thank you very much to these seats in honor of these 2 people from the National Association of Realtors. Back to you.
Good seats to watch Nathan Jackson bury a 3.
And I tell you what, Olney once again in zone, and they are a better man-to-man team. They are zone. Coach Flanagan does a great job with man, so.
Miller to the glass, and he didn't get it. But Tolman's there to finish, and he will go to the free throw line.
And that's a huge stat right there on your board right there. No turnovers for Manual, but 11 points off turnovers. And we thought Tolman would get back in this ball game because Coach Flanagan can't let it get any bigger than 12 as it is right now.
And, of course, when you get a good shot there of Keen Tolman, this guy was a project, folks, okay? I mean, his coach will tell you that. But he went from project to all-stater, second-team all-state. Nice touch, as you mentioned earlier, good hands, and that'll get him a full ride to Missouri Southern, which is a Division II school.
And you know he's a very unselfish player, too, as I watch this ball game, too. He's always looking for teammates.
I'll tell you what, man, when you're 6'11" and you got that kind of touch in the free throw line, that speaks volumes. And, of course, you got a lot of time left to improve in his career.
Olney still in the zone right now, Jim.
Manual.
I'll take it back. I'm sorry, Jim. They're on a man. I'm sorry. Man-to-man.
Manual. Let's see if Olney's sorry about it. Manual nursing that 10-point lead, hanging and missing from the left wing are the Rams. Coming up short that time was Julian Washington, as Miller forces the issue on the sidelines, and he'll draw the foul from Nathan Jackson.
Coming into the game right now for Manual is a guy with instant offense, Marvin Jordan. He's a sophomore. I think he's going to be the next star in the long line of great players at Manual.
There he is right there. He's got a good name to be a star.
Well, a good last name anyway.
That's for sure. Inbounding is Barry. Well, trying to. See what I mean? It's that hard. They lose the ball.
They are so good, Jim, defensively. And you know, that doesn't come just by happenstance. These guys are so well coached by Coach Booth. Look at him right there. He was a stalwart guard on that ball club that finished second back in '82, and he teaches the defense because he preaches it.
I know it's not a dance floor, but it's like they have this may I cut in attitude on defense. I mean, if you're trying to get to your teammate, they cut in between. Long jumper, no good. Tolman with a rebound.
I don't want Coach Booth to get mad at me either. He played in '91, so I don't want to make him look any older than he is. He's a good-looking guy.
He's got numbers. Got 2 from the sophomore, Brandon Barry.
Well, he's good. That kid is really good around the basket. He's going to be a heck of a player by the time he's done.
He's 6'1", 160 right now as a sophomore. Puts on a couple more inches. Obviously, he's got a great basketball IQ. That's what his coach constantly says. Best basketball IQ I've seen in a while.
And I like his poise, too, Jim. He doesn't look rattled at all out here. He looks like he knows what he's doing. I'm surprised we haven't seen C.J. March in this quarter.
Well, you talked about Jordan, and he gives you an example right off the bat.
He is so good off the bench. He gives them instant offense.
Some jump shooters, they look like they've just come from the basketball gods. Look at that defense. Jackson gets it away. Miller gets it back. And it's kicked by Julian Washington.
Well, I tell you what, though, I love seeing that. Guys diving on the floor for loose balls. Playing. We're going to see this again here. You're going to see 2 guys going after that basketball, getting in it with the right hand, and now it's just a foot race. And look at them both. That ball is everything to both of those guys. I love seeing that.
Kendall Brown back in the ball game for Peoria Manual, and their head coach Derek Booth, who's in his 2nd year. Great story. Derek Booth, of course, as you mentioned, played at Manual, and he was on that great 1991 team. And after winning the Class AA sectional, he told one of his assistant coaches, "I'm going to be the head coach here someday." Well, prediction came true. Another turnover.
And this is where Manual thrives when people come out to get him because they can penetrate just like that.
That jumper's not going to be there. It's headed out of bounds, and Tolman, with good body control, keeps Scotty Brown out of the
Well, I don't know what happened there. The referee touched the ball when the ball was still in play. I haven't seen that in a long time. I think he thought there was a foul called or something, so That was kind of interesting.
2:21 remaining in the half, and of course, if you're Olney, you want to keep this below that double digit if you can. Toman comes to help out, and Barry shows his ability to get the ball up court. Toman with a drop pass to Barry. That high-low game, they got to have it.
And as we said, spacing was the key that time because Manual could not get up and double team it.
This Manual team is so good, they have about 3 point guards, don't they? But this time, Paris had to get away.
I think that's their first turnover, Jim. I believe it is. And for playing 14 minutes and style of ball that they play, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm sure most coaches would take that.
That's been the difference in the first half. Manual's taking advantage of the turnovers. Olney hasn't been able to create them.
Whatever the outcome, Tyler Miller with a basketball, he will know he has played as hard as he ever has in his life here tonight because every step, every bounce is contested, and now he'll draw the personal. That's what he has to keep doing.
And this is real interesting for me to watch, too, because Nate Jackson is the best on-ball defender for Manual. You're going to see it again here. Miller here, close to being an all-stater and the best on-ball defender for Manual. He just wouldn't let him get around the corner, so a nice job by Miller.
Don't forget at the half, Lee Hall will be up in our Chevy studios with a state championship coach by the name of Cliff Cameron, who won a couple Class A championships in 2000 and 2002 with Pleasant Plains. I love the way those teams play.
And now Marvin Jordan has got the duty of trying to cover Tyler Miller.
Miller looks inside for that man.
Look at those hands.
Soft hands.
Yeah.
Soft hands.
That ball should have gotten away from him.
He's got downy hands. And this time it's blocked inside by Scotty Brown. I mean, they can go with Crowder and Brown both at 6'7", and you'll see what kind of defense they play.
Watch the big fella put it on the hole here, and Scotty Brown gets him with the body first. Could have been 2 fouls there, so big guy took it right to the hole. Manual didn't have any backside help there at all, and now he's going to be shooting 2. He's a 66% free throw shooter for the season.
Body first, and that's why he's at the free throw line.
Jim, if I didn't have a scoreboard above me here, I wouldn't know that East Richland's within 7 points. You'd think this is a 15 or 20 point game.
I agree. I think they're keeping their cool despite how chaotic this defense has made them play. They still are. They're digging.
I would think Coach Flanagan, if he can get it in 6 or 7 at halftime, he's going to feel real good about this because they've turned it over more than they usually do, and Manual's taking advantage of that. Manual needs to make a little run here, I think, to make the Manual fans breathe a little easier.
This guy is a portable wall, man. He is just huge and agile, as you can see, and out comes Toman, all 6'11", 260 pounds of him, and now it's the Olney fans saying, hey, you thought we were disappearing? Think again.
Well, here's C.J. March back in the ball game, and they're going to bring him out. I'm kind of surprised at that. I thought they'd go right at him now with Toman out of the ball game.
Well, and again, you cut the lead to 6. You don't have Toman in, so if they're not going for the hoop, I think you're okay with it if you're Coach Flanagan.
I would be thrilled going in at 6 down right now with the way this game's gone, but it looks like Manual's going to be satisfied to go up 6 or 8 or 9, depending on what happens.
Augusta, Gully, and March are out there in the front court. In the back court, you've got Crowder waiting.
And you don't have the big shot blocker in there, too. That's just huge right now for Manual.
If they wait for the final shot and don't get it, you've got to give the mark to the Tigers as far as Mo is concerned. This is like having a horse in the Derby and you keep him tied up.
That's right. You got to let him out of the gate here, but Coach Bruce is one of the young, great coaches in our state, and he's got a good plan for this ball club.
Well, we'll see if they go to Julian Washington or Crowder with the penetration dribble. Here comes C.J. March. He goes to the corner, and they lost the ball.
And you know what? Olney East Richland played that great because they knew that Paris Gully was going to be the first option. They went over and double-teamed Gully when he came off that screen, and that's why they got the hand on it.
So checking out will be C.J. March as Nathan Jackson comes back in for this final 4.7. And then what you want to do now if you're Olney is not turn the ball underneath your own basket or again. Oh, and they did. And here's the jumper, and it's not there, but the putback is.
Oh.
And I'll be darned if the Rams didn't get it done anyway with Julian Washington cleaning it up. And I was just saying you don't want to turn the ball over underneath the Rams basket, and that's what they did.
You shouldn't have said it.
I apologize. So it's an 8-point lead, but an interesting game nonetheless, because if you're Rob Flanagan, who's headed to the sidelines right now, and of course into the locker room, well, you know you got some work to do, but you're not down by double digits. Let's go to Ashley and head coach Derek Booth.
Thanks, guys. Coach, good, strong first half. Crowd didn't like you holding the ball in the beginning there. What were you thinking during the booing?
I didn't hear the booing. Were they booing? Yeah, I didn't hear the booing. We're not focused on what the crowd is. We're trying to win a ball game today. And, I wanted to spread them out. I wanted to bring them out so they can come out and guard us so we can utilize our quickness. I know the fans want to see a good game and want to see an up-and-down game, but we're trying to win a ball game.
Understandable. All right, good luck in the second half, Coach. Back to you.
Yep, it's not about numbers, Roger. It's about who's number one. We're in the first semifinal game of the night from Carver. We're back after this on the IHSA TV network. That's a big 2 right there.
Emmanuel has 19 points off your team's 11 turnovers. What'd you say to the guys to lessen that fact in the second half?
Well, that was probably the number one key we had on the board when we started, preparing for this game. They do a lot of scoring off of their defense, and the one right at the end of the half was a tough one. But I know my guys. We've got to play from here and just keep competing. Emmanuel's a very good defensive team, and we'll be ready in the second half.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck. Back to you.
Back for the start of the second half after this on the IHSA TV network. Don't go away. And here we go. Again, those first 3 minutes of the second half, Roger Lowe, pretty crucial, especially if you've had a shaky first half turnover-wise and you're trying to correct that problem.
Interesting matchup, too, right off the gun with Nate Jackson on Miller. Big start there for Manuel.
Look at Toman. He'll just bowl his way in, get it blocked, but they're going to call Lawyer Crowder for the foul. It's time for another National Association of Realtors trivia. Quest, looking for a professional realtor? Go to Realtor.com. What year was it? I have no idea.
I would be guessing C, because that's the last time Olney was here.
Well, that's a good point there, Roger. That's a good point. We'll see if your guess is correct as the centerpiece of this Olney offense makes 1 of 2. It's a 7-point game.
And Olney in man-to-man, Jim.
C.J. March, a little too much iron, but on the other side, it's Paris Gully. And Toman says enough is enough here, guys. Help me out. And they don't help him out. And that's going to cost him. Here comes Jackson. And the ball is loose, and let's see if Manuel just sets it back up. Is Gully? No, Gully forced it. Not a good idea. Somehow gets it back, gets it down with a little half hook.
And they're taking it right at Toman, too, to try to get that third foul. Every possession down there was right at him, so maybe that's Manuel's strategy in the second half.
And again, you got to come back and help out. You can't leave the big guy standing back there all by himself and making a half-court pass.
Watch out for on-ball screens here, too, because that's where Manuel can double-team you.
Here's Miller. He trips on his way in. That'll be a turnover. Crowder kicks it out, numbers automatically, and it's good at the other end by Nathan Jackson, who's having...
This is the recipe that you did not want to have for Coach Flanagan. They needed to come out and, as you said, get that quick start. Manuel's up by 11 now.
Jackson having a nice game, too.
I'd say one more turnover by Olney East Richland, and we're going to get another timeout by Coach Flanagan.
Kermickle in the game. He'll try the right baseline, and he gets greeted by Lawrence Crowder, but there was a foul on the body before the block. We'll see if it's, and the answer is, you were wrong, Roger.
What's new in the zoo there?
That's right. I didn't guess. Once I got my ARP card, I can only go back maybe 48 hours, and that's about all I can remember at that point. Trying to keep it close.
Now, this kid was a starting quarterback in football, started every game last year, so this is a senior leader that you can lean on right now.
65% free throw shooter is 100% on that trip.
See if they take it right at the big man again, Jim, then the penetration, trying to make Toman make some decisions.
March looks for Jackson. Jackson penetrating, gets it over on the wing, and that's not going to fall by Washington, and here comes a chance. Ball tipped again. What else is new? Long jumper, not there. And Manuel's calling for the ball. Here's March, pulls up, 12-footer, count it.
Well, if they hit those, Jim, as we said, they're just going to be almost unbeatable because they're so good on penetration. If they can hit that mid-range jumper, it just makes them so hard to cover.
Back to 11. McDowell.
He hasn't been on track yet. He's a better player than he's shown today.
Here's a pass down low. Barry wants to do something with it, but he's covered up. Oh, that's a nice pass to Miller. He just kept looking until something opened up, and the cutter was Miller, and Miller will go to the free throw line.
Smart and athletic. It's a good combination. You'll watch this again. Again, a back cut because of so much pressure. Jackson just got a little bit behind him there, and Miller's going to be able to go to the line right now. 65% free throw shooter on the year. Everything goes through this kid if you're an Olney East Richland fan.
And of course, in any game, these particular freebies are big, but for Olney right now, you got to really, every time you get there, make sure you get something.
We said in the
for
keys,
the trip.
excuse me, we said in the keys of possession obsession for Olney, so they have got to cure that in the second half.
What Olney wants to do is be within 5 or 6 when the fourth quarter starts. But again, Peoria Manual, they have been hammering people in that fourth quarter that all year long.
They score in waves, Jim. They just, you know, it's like a 10-point game, then you look up at the clock and it's 20. They just score so quickly.
Marvin Jordan is back into the ball game. He's got the ball right now on the wing. Wide open for the three is March.
Wow. Wow. He's an extension of Coach Booth, I'm telling you, on the floor, and a big three for CJ.
He scored 17 and 16 in the sectionals, added another double-digit night in the super sectionals, and CJ March and his teammates continue to march on the opposition, up by 12 with 4:44 remaining here in the third quarter.
And I don't think Coach Flanagan can be disappointed at all in the defense there. That was the shot that they wanted Manuel to take.
We've got a timeout on the floor. The Rams still holding court. And we're back after these local messages. If you're just joining us, you can see the turnover situation is heavily in favor of the lightning quick Manual Rams, but go back to that last 5 seconds of the first half. Olney had cut it down to 6 points. They had the ball, they threw it away. Nathan Jackson finished, and instead of going into the locker room, maybe down by only 4 or at least 6, you were down by 8. And right now, that's kind of the key play as we get ready to continue here into the third quarter. Toman will inbound.
Olney East Richland needs to get Charlie McDowell on track. He hasn't scored yet.
Wide open, Carmichael needs it, can't get it, and Peoria Manual does. Cortez Augusta on the run with the flow. The ball's loose, and coming the other way now is Olney.
That was the first time Manuel was sloppy, too. Those were not good passes.
And now Carmichael traveled with the basketball.
And you can tell Coach Booth is a stickler for fundamentals because these kids do so many things fundamentally well. He can't be happy with that last possession.
Of course, when Derek Booth was in that championship game back in '91 against Proviso East and the Three Amigos, in the first half he had to guard Donnie Boyce. In the second half, his coach said, why don't you go out and get Michael Finley? And this is according to Coach Booth, neither one scored on me.
Well, I believe that. I believe he shut him down.
I'm not doubting him for a minute. But right now, after 2 unsuccessful trips down, Olney needs to get something here, down by 12.
This is the guy that needs to get on track, Charlie McDowell.
Not there. Look at Jordan go up, and he'll be fouled by Carmichael.
McDowell has had the most three-point attempts in the tournament with 187, so that's a shot he can make. Okay, now once again, if you can get Manuel in the half court, Jim, I think that they're beatable, and we've talked about that before. So this is a possession that's going to be very important for Olney East Richland to get a rebound and come down and score. Manuel not as good in their half court as they are in full court.
Carmichael checks out, the sixth man for the Tigers. Back in is Corey Dunn.
You know, I'm trying to find things wrong with Manuel. It's like trying to find things wrong with Bo Derek. You know what I'm saying to you? So I'm not bad-mouthing them, but they're just better in the full court.
Oh, a little hop step, and Jordan gets it done, man. You were talking about how good he's going to be.
He is going to be a star, just a star.
The sophomore
I see a three-guard offense next year with C.J. March, Paris Gully, and Marvin Jordan.
This is the biggest lead of the night. Miller down, can't get it over the lip, and here they come in a hurry. C.J. March, count them up.
This is just where they're just unbelievable, and they will get these in a hurry.
Now, when you can move faster with the basketball than a lot of people can run without a basketball, well,
it's a bit recipe for disaster if you're the opponent, that's for sure. They got to start leaning on Keene, though. They're going to try to have to get the ball down the post, get some easy buckets from him.
Yeah, because you still got a lot of time left, but you've got to make the most of your possessions. Look at him grab and not finish. Back up. Done, though. And again, Olney just having too many zeros. Look at Jordan. Oh, and he dishes. And it's in and out. Man. Jordan spotted Gully, and Gully just didn't finish. Otherwise, you had one of those highlights. I am totally impressed with Toman's ability to catch a basketball. I know that sounds simple, but for big men, it's not always simple.
If you look at this now, if they can throw over the top now. Manuel had emptied the weak side, so if Toman can hold his position, they might be able to get a lob into him.
Lawyer Crowder on the right now. Toman will take it to the glass.
Tell you, the big fella is good. You can get a basket down there about every time.
And Rob Flanagan just kind of was shaking his head as that basketball went through the net, as if to say, boy, we have to be doing more of that.
And only East Richland has to come out and guard him now. Down 14 with 1:50. They can't sit back in the zone, so they got to come out and get after him.
Don't forget, tomorrow's 1A championship game follows the third place consolation game. We'll be on the air at about 11 o'clock tomorrow on these IHSA TV stations. Look out, that's Jordan.
Wow.
Looks like the Jordan rules are about to be in effect here. Boy. So soft, so soft.
These kids are just so well skilled too fundamentally.
Miller double team. Done. Doesn't want anything to do with the shot. He wants to get it into Toman. Now he doesn't, because knocking it out of bounds was Lawyer Crowder.
Jim, this is a heck of a basketball team. They're beaten by 16 points. This is an outstanding team that has not lost to any 1 or 2A opponents all season long.
Well, of course, I mean, if you're sizing up a tournament, hey, you know, if they're your team, you want them to be in the championship game. But if you're a casual observer, who doesn't want number 1 versus number 2 at the season's end? As bearing the jumper was Charlie McDowell, and that might get him started.
They're a guy that has to get on track, and sometimes the biggest journey starts with a single step.
And as I said, Manuel rated number 2. North Lawndale, who plays Pinckneyville, is rated number 1. They'll have their hands full tonight, but there is the possibility of 1 versus 2 as Paris Gully gets the spin and the kiss.
Boy, went right between 2 defenders and a nice soft jump shot.
A collision away from the ball. Derek Booth is going to have a little discussion with the official, arguing in favor of his man, Kendall Brown, but it will go against the Rams.
Kendall Brown's a real high-energy type player, too, so you expect that type of stuff. Guys falling on the floor when Kendall's around.
Inbounding.
Look how low he gets. Look at that.
Look at that.
It doesn't seem to hurt him at all, too. I like watching that.
That hurts my knees, just watching it.
Any of you young kids watching how to play defense, look how he moves his feet. He doesn't cross them, and he stays low. Never crosses his feet defensively.
That's impressive. And you know what? In basketball today, what's the most impressive thing to me is basics.
That's right. Sometimes kids think the word fundamentals is 9 letters too long, but not at Manuel.
Yes, indeed. Just the fun. I just want the fun. C.J. March and his teammates will watch the final 20 seconds tick off and see if they can add to that 16-point lead.
I would play for 1, Jim, with just 13 seconds.
Well, Gully might have other ideas. Look at this movement. He's hanging in. He's going to the free throw line. And you know what? Derek Booth is saying, didn't you hear Roger Lowe? We wanted to hang for the last shot.
Well, I'm sure if he listened to me that he would not be where he is today, let me tell you. I'm really impressed with what he's done with this program, just carrying on the fine tradition of Wayne McLean and Coach Van.
And to quote him, I'm not taking credit for this. There's a whole lot of coaches, former and current, that are helping me. Jumper, March, short. And the horn will end an excruciating third quarter for the Olney Tigers. And we're going to take a break along with the team. after this on the IHSA Television Network. You go, Paris.
And we are back at Carver Arena. 45-29, the Peoria Manual lead. The all-time winningest coach in Illinois High School Association history is with us now. Dick Van Sciac, 826 career wins, a lot of them with Peoria Manual. It's got to be a thrill for you to see him back here at State.
I've enjoyed visiting with a few of those ex-players here at the tournament, Lee. It's really been nice.
You, of course, won a state championship in your last game as head coach back in '94. Derek Booth was one of those players for you a few years before that. Tell me about the thrill of seeing him coach, take over the program, and resuscitate it and get it back here to where it is today.
Well, you know, as a player, Derek never received much recognition because he always did the dirty work. He always had to guard the toughest opponent in the ball game. And now to see him come around and I've watched him practice and watch this team play, and I'm just so proud of him because he just is doing an outstanding job down at Manual.
All right, sir. Always a pleasure.
My pleasure, Lee.
Dick Van Sciac, number one in IHSA wins, number one in class, too. Guys, back over to you. Thank you, sir. You get back up there all right?
Thank you, Lee. As Olney has its work cut out for him. And that's kind of how things are going. Even when they do penetrate, it doesn't fall. And the other end, oh, my goodness. I was waiting for that one to go in as Julian Washington did a little air ballet as we check the Menards stats. Save big money at Menards. What do you think, Raj? I think the numbers tell the story.
Well, just to show how unselfish a team this Manual team is, look at that, 12 assists out of 15 baskets. I mean, and once again, they've only had 4 players all year long score 20 points in a game. So this goes back again to the coach trying to teach a team concept, and it's paying its dividends this evening.
And, of course, we talk about Derek Booth. He also had to live in the shadow of his brother David. I mean, David was an all-stater at Manual, but I don't think, you know, if this weekend ends up the way Mr. Booth hopes, I think he has something to hold over his brother at that point in time.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, the guys like Derek Booth, the guys that play defense, those are the blue-collar, lunch pail type guys that coaches like Coach Van Sciac never forget. Those are the ones that win you championships. I always said that the guys who score are tuxedos and top hats, and the guys who play defense are the guys in the overalls that work overtime. And I tell you, it's hard to sell that, but if you believe in it, you can get kids to do it.
Well, you can look at the Westminster Abbey Dog Show and go, wow, pretty dogs, or you can say, wow, that junkyard dog, I don't want to get next to him.
No, that's right.
So there's two different attitudes there. As Olney comes down, Tyler Miller. Nice jump pass, but Kermickle can't free himself.
Now watch this lob pass into Tolman. If they can empty the weak side, they can get it over Scotty Brown.
Barry with a nice move to the basket. And they're going to see a lot of him in Tigerland for the next 2 years, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's going to play 6 years. He's going to play 2 more here and 4 in college. He's going to be a player.
And right now, Manual knows they don't have to do anything out of the ordinary here. Just kind of, you know, go about their business. Get a bucket here or there. Keep the pressure on.
Those are the rebounds I think Manual's going to get more often than not, the ones that hit the floor, because they are just so quick foot-wise and hand-wise, and those are the ones that Olney has to make sure do not hit the floor.
And, of course, this floor certainly doesn't bother the Rams as far as their gas tank, even though it's 10 feet longer than a regular high school court. They probably like it longer.
I wouldn't be in any hurry now if I'm Manual. Run the offense, run some time off the clock here. Olney's going to have to be the one that forces the issue.
And, of course, with this new format, you get down here, you don't have to go away if you lose on your first night, because you'll be back tomorrow for the consolation game as the shot misfires and Olney will come the other way.
Now, there's just a great example right there. Olney did a great job of boxing out. I mean, textbook job of boxing out, but the Manual man was able to get around him and almost saved it for the Rams. Relentless pressure. They just don't stop.
There's that interior pass, and there's the result.
It's there. It's there if they want to take it.
Can they get it into the big man enough? You saw Keen Toman doing what he's been doing all year long, averaging 18 points and 9 rebounds a game. Augusta hangs. A little too much iron. Tolman had it knocked away, but Julian Washington will pick up the personal.
Big possession now for Olney East Richland. They can get it down to 10, maybe even 9. I'd be looking for Charlie McDowell here to maybe get you into that single digits.
And tell the folks at home about those 2 3-point lines they're looking at. They might be a bit confused.
The black line is the high school line. The red line will be next year's college line, Jim. It's 9 inches farther back, 20 feet 6 inches. So we're playing with the black line in high school.
Of course, when I played, there was no 3-pointer, so I want that thing extended way out there. Timeout. Rob Flanagan wants to talk it over. Critical juncture in the game. We'll come back and see if Olney's got a plan after these local messages. There's always a lot of great moments at the state tournament, and here's our Walgreens Picture Perfect moment. Walgreens, a proud sponsor of this IHSA broadcast and the Picture Perfect moments.
Well, one of the things that Olney East Richland has we've talked about before, Tyler Miller and Charlie Medell has averaged 20 points total between the two of them. They only have 3 points right now, so there's still plenty of time. I used to be a coach, and you got to tell your kids there's still over 5 minutes to play, and you're only down 12.
And what you got to do, you got to have a double-edged approach to this, because you really have to keep Manual off the scoreboard as well now, because they're up by 12. Look at
yeah, look at Augusta. Look at Cortez Augusta on top of Miller. He's the shutdown man for Manual.
Miller gets it inside. That's where they want it. Tolman finishes. It's down to 10.
It's there, and that's his 15th point. Big defensive series now for Olney East Richland.
The Tiger fans making some noise. Head coach Rob Flanagan saying we need to stop.
And if you get Manual into this half court, this is where you can start chipping back into it. They are so good 94 feet. They're not as good at the half court.
When you're that good 90 feet, you don't have to be that good half court.
That's exactly right.
You're not in it that often. Here's Cortez.
He's not going to be much of a scorer for you. You got to be looking for CJ. You got to be looking for Paris. Miller's going to come up and try to put a little bit more pressure.
Julian Washington just playing catch with his mate CJ. And it's about at the 4-minute mark. Inside, he didn't get it. Whoa! Scotty Brown went up, didn't get the dunk, got kind of caught in midair because Tolman was in the way, and that is going to be a foul.
Scotty Brown asked, when did they plant that tree in the lane? He didn't see that seed there. That's what it sounded like or felt like running into Tolman.
They called it on Brown for the offense, and we'll march the other way with a guy who's really a marksman at this point from 15 feet away. He doesn't look rattled at all. He just looks like Kate.
Single digits now. Single digits with 4 minutes to go.
And of course, with that 3-point line we were mentioning, who knows? Manual has the most of it now, and that free throw won't go. Crucial. Soft, but falls off.
Let's see if Manual starts the engines again or tries to make Olney come out and play him.
Well, you heard Derek Booth at the break. He said, you know what, I don't really care about, how many points we put up. It's about winning the game.
Yeah, he wants that score of his in the left column.
Cortez Augusta, triple team. He lost the handle. Here comes Olney.
And Miller's good here.
Miller all the way, and he's fouled.
Miller is good when he's got that ball in a good angle, and he's going to go to the line for 2. All-man momentum is switching. You're going to get a chance to see it again. This kid is so good in the open floor. You can see once again the Manual man did not face him. That's where the foul occurred.
Julian Washington will pick up the personal.
Here's your emotional leader now. This is the kid who did not have a good first half, but has led them most of the season.
Cannot miss 2 1-and-1s. They don't.
Well, we said this before, Jim, but if I didn't have a scoreboard, I'd say the score is 15 or 20, and right now it's going to get down to 8.
Well, remember, there's a missed opportunity, because instead of being down by 6, if they make free throw opportunities, they're still looking at a 9-point deficit as Derek Booth wants to talk it over and set up this final 3:31. We're back after this on the IHSA TV network. Drive of the game. Log on now to ChevyDriveChicago.com, and there you see Manual getting those high percentage shots.
And the two guys that handle the ball right there, Paris Gully to C.J. March, and we talked about this at the break, Jim, are the ones that are going to have to do all the ball handling right now for Manual, because those are the ones that handle the ball the best, can penetrate the best. And again, Coach Flanagan's got to try to get the ball out of those guys' hands.
ChevyDriveChicago.com. Carnegie's 501 in the Hotel Pierre Marquette is where you will find a new fresh menu. Breakfast menu just $7.95. $7 gets you an all-you-can-eat soup and salad bar and featured entree of the day. Carnegie's 501 Main Street. Where else? Inside, Manual putting down a very important bucket as Paris Gully gets it.
You went to the bread and butter there. Manual got what they wanted, and Olney couldn't get it away from him.
Back to a double-digit lead. Miller. 15-footer? No. Toman, though, has his teammate Kermickle get the offensive glass, so they'll keep it alive.
He's done a heck of a job off the bench today, Kermickle. He's given them good minutes.
Should be at the free throw line when they clear it all away.
Only one timeout left now, too, for Coach Flanagan from Olney, so they can't stop the clock. Only one time after a made basket.
You saw Paris Gully down there. Of course, in a long line of Gullies. His dad, Tony, played at Manual as well.
I think Tony was the leading scorer in the history of Manual when he graduated, too, Jim. So the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
No, indeed. Cortez Augusta getting some room, and he'll be fouled by Kermickle. I tell you, you got to give it to Olney. Obviously, as far as athleticism, they cannot stack up to a Peoria Manual, but they didn't give up on themselves. And the key was how many times can you get it in low
now,
to Toman.
Olney East Richland can be pretty aggressive right now, Jim. That's only their fourth foul of the half, so they're going to have to come out and really start forcing things, but this is where Manual's so dangerous.
You talk about the Manual rebirth in the family as you see number 1 North Lawndale getting ready to take on Pinckneyville.
Boy, is that going to be
oh my goodness.
Quite a game.
Well, I'm kind of headlining this one, Kyle Cassidy and the Sundance Kids, because that guy's a player for Pinckneyville, of course. And then you've got Jonathan Mills, who calls himself a warrior and proves it on a nightly basis.
Okay, now, with the game at hand right now, Olney's going to have to come out and start trying to take away passing lanes, going to have to start coming up and playing more aggressively. And, again, that's feeding right into Manual's strengths.
There you see our lineup tomorrow for 1A as we crown a champion not once but twice this weekend. One in 1A, one in 2A. Nokomis and St. Anne will decide who gets the biggest piece of hardware. Don't forget about Sport Court. Brings you our upcoming game. Sport Court, the backyard leader of family fun since 1974. SportCourt.com.
This is the beauty of Illinois high school basketball, seeing people coming from all over to support their home team. And as we talked about right there, one of the fine young coaches in our state. Very disciplined team, very disciplined man, and the players feed off of him.
And, of course, we mentioned the emotion that Olney brings to the table. And when they come out on the court, you usually don't see this during TV time, but they wear this bright yellow jersey, long jumper not there. Kermickle with a rebound. It's called Gunner's Magic Train, and that, of course, is in honor of a young man by the name of Gunnar Gillespie. He's 7 years old. He's fighting a brain tumor, and his dad, Gus Gillespie, became friends with Rob Flanagan when they were both coaching in the state of Illinois. He was in Robinson, Illinois, and now, of course, they just kind of try to motivate the young man. And here's a turnover inside, and with 2.5 left, you'd have to say that Peoria Manual, unless the wheels fall off, is going to the state championship game.
Olney's going to have trouble catching when they do this.
Well, they took it away. Julian Washington couldn't get it away, and there's
Timeout.
a layup good by Charlie McDowell. And it's down to a 9-point game.
He's only got one, so he's going to use it later.
Rotate! Rotate!
You may have heard Rob Flanagan yelling rotate.
Again, they can foul 2 more times before Manual goes to the line.
Ooh, a foul inside.
Oh, no,
traveling on Gully.
Olney can be very aggressive, Jim, defensively. Take chances because Manual will not go to the line. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I think if they score here, they'll stop the clock.
Harris went in there, but he didn't come out with anything. Miller getting bumped. Miller all the way, puts it up, and he's fouled.
He was fouled 2 or 3 times before he got in there.
And what you want is to keep this clock stopped as often as possible. Here's what you see coming at you.
I have just been so impressed in how he takes that ball so hard at the basket, and he's good. He's good in the open court, this kid.
Can he make it a 7-point ball game?
I do want to say right now, though, that the guys in stripes have done, I think, an outstanding job, Jim. They've done a great job, and it's as big an honor for them to be here as the guys playing. And we haven't talked negatively about these officials really at all today. They've done a great job.
Remember, Manual's average win in the second season by a margin of 27 points. And we are approaching about 90 ticks left.
We're going to get a 10 count.
Augusta lost
get a 10 count.
And they don't get the 10 count. It was pretty darn close as Augusta gets it on over, and they'll go to the free throw line. Rob Flanagan thought they should have gotten the 10-second count.
It was close. It was real close. Olney kind of turned the tables on Manual. That's how Manual gets a lot of their baskets, and they're once again just a little bit late was Carmichael. And going to the line now will be Washington, 70% free throw shooter on the season.
The man with a 4.0 grade point average eyes it and doesn't get it.
Well, I tell you what, if Charlie McDowell can get off one of his three-pointers, he's taken more than anybody else in this tournament. You can get it down into a 5 or 4-point game.
Still a 3-possession game. And the pressure continues. And Miller would like nothing better than to go back to the free throw line, but he's not hassled as much this time up court.
Watch for 14, Charlie McDowell.
Here goes Miller. Blocked. Whoa. Lawyer Crowder for the defense.
Great play by Crowder. You'll see it here on replay. Helps out his teammate, blocks it with the right hand, so he didn't body him with the left.
Here comes Marvin Jordan back into the ball game, checking out his Cortez Augusta. And that would have been a big free throw, but great body control by Crowder. Here's a pass. Can they get it in? They do. Brandon Berry, the sophomore, cut it to 6, and Manual's going to have to score a little bit more.
Still with the foul to give, Olney. They have to foul, Jim.
They got a foul, you're right, and we're under a minute. Inside they go. Crowder just kicks it right back out.
They got to come out and get him, Jimmy.
Oh, they left a man wide open underneath, and Julian Washington makes him pay.
That's what happens when you double team the ball. At least somebody open. At least a 4-on-3 somewhere.
McDowell in a hurry, forces it, gets it over to Toman.
Timeout.
And you got to force everything at this point, and a timeout taken by Olney. 32 ticks left. They're down by 6. Hey, never quit. That's what these guys are all about.
But the problem is now Manual's got outstanding free throw shooters all up and down the lineup. I'm looking up and down here, and they're all 70, 69, 88, 83, so you got to pick your poison there. If you get the ball in C.J. March's hand, he's shooting 83%. Cortez is out of the game. He's an 88% free throw shooter, but I'm telling you right now, Coach Booth's saying, you see C.J., you see Paris Gully, get him the ball.
Exactly. When you have that kind of confidence in your guards, that's where you want it in the final 32 seconds. So, again, if you're just joining us, Peoria Manual held on to the ball a couple of times because they didn't like the zone aspect that Olney was throwing at them. A few boos by the Olney crowd, but obviously, you think of Peoria Manual and some of the great teams that have come out of Peoria, and they can ring up some points. But as we said before, Derek Booth just wants to play in prime time tomorrow. There's your reset.
Now, I do not think Olney East Richland has any timeouts left at all. I think that they have just burned their last one, if I'm correct on that. So that's going to be a big statistic, because if Olney scores, Manual can let the ball bounce, and they have 5 seconds to get it in bounds. Now, Manual has 2 timeouts left, Jim, so if they can't get it in, they can stop the clock if Olney does a great job of defending that. There we go with the reset. Olney is out of timeouts. I'd like the fans, though, Jim, to watch Gully and March. Those are the 2 guys that Manual has to get the ball to.
Been an interesting game. It was an 8-point lead at the break for the Manual Rams. Now it's a 6-point game.
Now it's the chess match. Can Manual get the ball to the people they want to? Can Olney keep it out of their hands?
You got Marvin Jordan and Crowder back deep for a long pass. They'll be back there to cherry pick if somebody double teams. And we've got a whistle and a foul with no time off the clock.
Still no free throws again. Still no free throws, but they will shoot now after the next foul. And again, Manual looking for Gully and March.
Rob Flanagan, very animated in front of us. He loves his team. Here's a pass inside. Now the foul. Took about 2 seconds to get it. And let's see what poison they picked.
Paris Gully. Paris Gully is one of those guys, Jim, in 4 or 5 years that they're not going to let him into an arm movie. He's just got such a little baby face. And he's just an assassin out there. Just a great player, but looks like he's about 7th or 8th grade facially.
There's Derek Booth. And we talked to Dick Van Sciak earlier, and, you know, as Derek says, hey, man, this is not just about me. This is about a lot of coaches who stay in contact, who help me out.
This kid is so good. Paris Gully is so good. He was the MVP over the Pontiac tournament in a losing cause to Simeon, and I'm telling you what, this kid's going to make somebody a great guard. I've heard that Ball State is very interested in him. Jim Molinari, the former Bradley coach, is now an assistant over there at Ball State.
Well, anybody who can run a show and do it with controlled emotion is going to be noticed and make crucial free throws.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like I said, this kid is so good, and good players are there when you need them at the end.
Whoa, we got a foul on the Rams without any time coming off the clock, and I'm sure Derek Booth would rather have that not happen.
Well, they'll be talking about that after the game because that shouldn't happen. Stopping the clock, and Olney can cut in the lead 2 more points.
So all that coaching tree of Peoria Manual, the Van Sciaks, the Wayne McLeans, of course Fred Lee, the current assistant, Chuck Westendorf, of course, who helped out and still helps out. Fred Lee, as we mentioned.
Well, I'll tell you what, it doesn't make any difference who wins or loses this game. Both teams know that they played against men, and you know, that's all you can ask for.
Carmichael buries them both. Running the baseline is Washington, and he has to call a timeout, leaving the Rams with 1.
Great job by Olney, because the last 3 times that Peoria Manual's taken the ball out of bounds, they've had to stop the clock there by just a great job defensively.
There you see Rob Flanagan and the Olney fans.
Now, one thing you might want to look at, Jim, too, if they keep putting that much pressure on Manual, that Manual may send a man deep and to try to hit that fly pattern, that could be there for him.
Get the fans confused here, orange and black. Manual fans.
And Manual still with 1 big timeout left, so if Olney does a great job defensively again, they can't stop the clock.
And a jump ball is going to help Olney's cause as well, since they have the possession arrow. Well, you know, when you're down by 15 or 16, you can call it a night, but they didn't.
No, and I'll tell you what, I don't have a horse in this race, and neither do you, but it's going to be sad to see one of these 2 teams lose because they've both just gone after each other for 32 minutes, and you know, whoever wins this game knows that they've earned it.
Don't forget the Country Insurance and Financial Services 3-point shootout will take place between games 1 and 2 here tonight. And yet to follow North Lawndale and Pinckneyville. Here's Lee Hall.
All right, Rob Flanagan's going to do a little switcheroo here and put Tolman on the ball. They want to get a deflection, of course. They're going to switch any screens here and try and get a quick shot off, guys.
The Peoria Manual quick to the basketball.
And
that quickness is Marvin Jordan.
They just couldn't catch him either. He ran about 7 or 8 seconds off there. They just couldn't catch up to him. And Jordan did a good job there, Jim. He had a man open underneath the basket, but he just decided to keep it in his hands and run more time off the clock. Now, he's only a 61% free throw shooter, and it is a bonus.
Marvin Jordan, only a sophomore. But a sophomore today has probably played more basketball than a college senior 30 years ago because they just play.
Wow.
Nothing but net.
Statewide television, 12,000 people in the stands and nothing but the bottom, as you said. And 15 years old.
Got to make your throws if you're going to win a state championship. And he makes 1 of 2, and Olney has it in good shape. And Miller comes out of there with it. Oh, man, he has got to fight for everything. He's got a lane. It's blocked, but he's going to the free throw line. Woo! Lawrence Crowder made up some ground in a hurry, and Miller almost got smushed against the support. Here he comes.
How many times have we seen this today? We've seen it 3 or 4 or 5 times now. If Manual lets him go, The ball goes in, it's 53-48, and Manuel can hold the ball in bounds for 5 or 6 seconds. Not a very smart play by Manuel.
Instinctually, he went for the block, but it won't cost him at least 2 points. It'll only cost him 1.
Yeah, it could have got the clock down to 5 or 6 seconds, Jim. So that's something, again, that Coach Bruce is going to have to get corrected.
Tyler drills it. Back to 6. It's going to take a turnover. The Rams take care of business, and oh no, they don't. They lost the handle on it. Here comes Barry. He gets it on over to McDowell. Couldn't get it. That would have been the squeezer, but Peoria Emanuel's going to walk out of here with a well-earned 53-47 win. Charlie McDowell got a good look, Roger, but it didn't fall.
And it would have been a little bit too little, too late. But man, what a great comeback by Olney East Richland, outscoring Manuel 18-8 in that fourth quarter. Manuel knew they were in a battle tonight, but they're where they want to be.
It looked like Lawyer Crowder was going to have a breakaway slam, but the pass didn't get to him, and picking it up was Barry, and McDowell, as we said, firing but misfiring, and it's all about Peoria Emanuel going to a state championship yet again.
And I would think when Coach Booth talks to our gal here, Ashley, he's going to just be relieved, because I think he knows that they can play better.
Ashley will be standing by with the head coach, and here's a guy, folks, who was working for Caterpillar, making good money, couldn't stay away from the game he loves. Went back to be a freshman coach, a sophomore coach, and finally ascended to the head coaching job, and he's standing by with Ashley.
Thanks, Coach. Maybe not the prettiest win, but definitely one in the left column. What do you think about it? Championship game tomorrow.
Yeah, we just wanted to survive. Olney was a great ball club. They're well coached. The big man was a ton for us tonight, and we just wanted to survive. It definitely wasn't pretty, but you know, when we got a little lead, the clock was our friend. And but they came after us scrapping, and they got some steals, and they cut into the lead. They cut it, to 6 or so. But we just wanted to survive tonight in advance. That's the name of the game this time of the year. Survive in advance.
Well, you definitely did that. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
In the Country Insurance and Financial Services Player of the Game, Julian Washington, 11 points, 5 rebounds. Going to the big dance tomorrow. How do you feel?
Yeah, I'm very excited. Bring it back to Peoria, represent Peoria. In the championship.
Well, you did a good job tonight. Good luck tomorrow. Back to you guys.
You don't have to say a lot if your game speaks for you, and tonight that young man's game definitely spoke for him, and we'll come back with more. Don't forget, we've got a great matchup with North Lawndale, rated number 1 in the state, against always tough Pinckneyville. We're back after this on the IHSA TV network.